guys! Now if it seems like I'm yelling, it's because I am, because the microphone on this computer is really bad and I need to yell so that you can hear me. But, back to the point of this video. I'm just going to tell you guys a little story to start it off, and then you'll sort of see what I'm talking about. So the other day, me and two of my friends went into the city, and we were just having like, a shopping day, and it was really nice, and we decided to go down into a little cafe, it was so cute, for lunch. And it was all good. We sat down, ordered our food, had some lunch. It was delicious, and overall it was really nice. And the whole time that we'd been there, our waiter was this Adonis of a human being. He was absolutely amazing. Probably the most attractive man I've ever seen in my life. Oh, sorry. And the whole time, I've been trying to play it cool, which is kind of difficult for me in the best of circumstances. But I was doing pretty well. The only problem is, I am pretty much the deafest person on the planet compared to like deaf people. It's really bad. And it was really loud there. It was in the city and there was just people everywhere and we were in this crowded little alleyway. So he comes over and he says something like this. Blah 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 blah. And I looked at my friends and they kind of looked at me and we just sort of sat there for a few seconds until finally I said, "Oh, no, that's fine." And then my friend next to me said pretty much simultaneously, "Yes, yes, yes." And then the other one was just sitting there kind of staring at us both. And he kind of just looks at us. Because you see, what I heard was, "Would you like any more water?" But apparently that was incorrect. What he actually said was, "Would you like the check?" So in the end he came back with the check and we just gave him the money and got away from there as fast as possible. But the point of that story is that I am pretty much the most awkward person on the planet. I can't do anything without making an idiot of myself. It does get bothersome after a while, I will admit. But I mean, that kind of thing happens to me all the time. I don't hear what someone says, and I feel bad asking them to repeat it, so I just sort of come up with an answer, usually yes or no, and look for a response to see if I answered correctly. Usually I can pull it off, but when I don't, it's really embarrassing. Another great one that I do all the time is in the mornings during the holidays, I usually get up pretty early to take my dog for a walk. And by early, I mean like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm assuming that most of you wouldn't know what type of people are out at 7 o'clock in the morning, because the only people I've ever seen are above 60 years old. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the fastest walker on the planet, but these people are so slow. So slow. So if I come around a corner and I see someone up ahead that's like with a walking frame or something, I'm just like, oh shit, what do I do? I'm gonna get up to them? How do I pass them? What distance do I have to move over? How far across do I have to move off the footpath so that they're like, what if they turn around? What if they turn around and they think, what if they turn around twice and I'm like getting closer and closer? That's just creepy, right? Oh my god, they're gonna call the police. They are going to call the police. And I mean, do you speed up? Do you slow down? I don't know. Because I mean, like, I don't want to slow down. These people are like 60 years old. I'll be behind them all day. I won't ever get home. I won't get home till dinner. And then if I speed up, they seem to speed up, but not enough for it to be okay for us to keep a reasonable distance. Only just enough to make me move up to them that little bit slower, just to make it even more awkward, if that makes sense. So in the end, I just end up walking about 3 meters behind them for about, I don't know, as long as it takes a 60-year-old person to find out that some 16-year-old girl is just sort of walking behind them creepily. I've had people cross the road to get away from me. Alright, so the next one's kind of a personality trait, I guess. I cannot make conversation with people for shit. Like the way I'm talking to this camera right now. If this was a person, if you were all actually here in this room, I would be like hiding in my cupboard. The following is an example of something that actually happened to me once. Oh, hi there. I'm Eloise. Nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Roy. Hi there, Roy. I'm Eloise. I said that, didn't I? Oh, golly. Yeah, anyway, I'm going over there for a while. I gotta speak to some people. Crazy bitch. And then went on to stand in the corner of the room for the rest of the party and try and not make eye contact with anyone. My life is a fail. Another thing I tend to do quite often is stare at people when they're not watching. Wow, that sounded really creepy. I didn't mean that as in like,
I like staring at young children. Ah!
Definitely not like that. It's just, when you're sitting in class and you're really bored and your eyes sort of go all blurry, and you don't actually know what you're looking at. You're thinking about something completely different, and then when you focus back in, there's some kid greasing you off because you've been staring at him for the past 2 minutes. I mean, I'm sure that's happened to lots of people, right? Knowing me, my most likely cause of death at the moment is accidentally staring down a psychopath and having them beat me to death with a shovel. Whilst there's a million things I do that are completely embarrassing, the last one I can really think of at the moment, it's not really my fault, it's just the way that I handle a particular situation. So for example, I'll be sitting at my desk, and some random kid that I've never talked to comes into the classroom and sees that there's no available desks except for the one directly next to me because I have no friends. Anyway, so they'll sit down and we'll just be doing our work quite merrily for however long until they just start talking. I don't really know. They might say something like, "Oh, this maths work's so bad, I hate maths." Or, "Oh, thank goodness this is like the last period of the day." How does one respond to that? I mean, they're not looking at me, so I don't really know if they're talking to me. And it's not really loud enough to be a conversation starter. It's kind of just like a mumble. So the first couple of times I'll just sort of look over and, I don't know, nod even though I know they're not looking at me. Just as if they kind of get the signal that I'm agreeing. It happens surprisingly often. But then this is the really embarrassing part. If they continue to do this mumble talk thing, so they mumble along and I'll just sort of mumble something in agreement and I don't know, it's really bad. So if they say, "Oh, I really hate the substitute teacher," I'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, yeah," but really softly, so they probably can't even hear me. All they'll hear is just this crazy girl mumbling to herself. And then it makes it even worse if they're not actually talking to me, because then they'll just think that I thought that they were talking to them, and that's really embarrassing. Like, why does this stuff have to happen to me? Why can't they just leave me alone? So if you're watching this from my school and I don't talk to you and you have to sit next to me one day, don't mutter at me. If you want to talk to me, just look at me and ask me a question. Otherwise, I'm just going to be really awkward and mumble to myself. Okay, cool. So yes, basically I just wanted to make this video to show all the reasons that I shouldn't be allowed out in public because I have no people skills whatsoever. Anyway, I'm off to go enjoy my last day of holidays. Awkwardly, most likely. Bye for now, not forever.